Okay, hello. I haven't done one of these on here before because I always just used to do them on TikTok, but I have a lot of books to go through and too much for just a little TikTok video. So, welcome to my January and February reading wrap up. Okay, so I started out the year, extremely strong with Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This has become like top tier book for me. I don't know how I was so lucky to start off my year like this, but this book was just phenomenal. Okay, I don't know how I was so lucky, but I started off the year with a 5-star read, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This book was incredible. The way that the mental health representation was executed was perfect. I felt so seen by our male main character. I don't even remember his name. Jacob, he was the sweetest man. Everything about him just warmed my heart. Okay, so pretty much both characters work at the same hospital, and Jacob is the new guy, and he's had a very rough start, and pretty much everyone hates him, including our female main character. But then they start to send each other notes, starting off as sorry, I did this, blah, blah, blah. And then they start to slowly fall for each other through these notes, and then they just become the best of friends. And then I'm pretty sure they start doing a fake dating situation. I don't remember, but this was just a beautiful, beautiful book. I cannot wait to read more books by Abby Jimenez. I just have my whole reading journal here because it has all my reviews in it, but I never wrote what actually happened in the book, so I have to try to remember. Then I was already on holiday at the time and I had no other books with me, so I got a Kindle for Christmas, and a very cheap book, I think it was like $4.99, was The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I've already read Betting on You and The Do-Over, and I read another one this month, but this book is an adult one, not a young adult, and I enjoyed it, but it didn't hit. Okay, pretty much the premise of this book is that they have a one-night stand at a wedding, but then they never see each other again, obviously. But then a few weeks later, they're both scrolling on their dating apps, and they come across each other. But they do message each other, but they've agreed that they're just not interested in each other at all. So they decide to have a little bet to see who can find love first. And their friendship is just so cute. But in my opinion, once they became a couple, obviously because it's a romance book, it just went south. I don't know what it was, but the chemistry died. I couldn't personally see them together working as a couple, but it was cute, it was fun. I read it quite fast, but it was just 3 stars. Then I read this beautiful, beautiful book. This is the indie edition, and I'm so excited to own it. But this book, oh my gosh, 5 stars. Okay, so this is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. It's on Kindle Unlimited, which is where I originally read it. But oh my gosh, it was love at first sight. I had no idea what was going to happen in the book. All I knew that it was accidental pregnancy and that it was obviously very popular. But I did not know the way that this book would change my life. Okay, so I felt like the disability representation in this book was actually incredible. I had no idea that was going to be such a big part of the story. But as someone who personally has my own disabilities, this book really just it really hit home. And I didn't know that they both had disabilities as well, and that was just so beautiful to me. Also, the fact that our main female character, Wynn, she strives to create this camp for kids who have also had disabilities, and me, who had been on Camp Quality my whole life, that really, really warmed my heart. Okay, pretty much what happens, the synopsis of this book is that they're both at a Halloween party for their friends, and they end up having a little one-night stand, just like in The Love Wager, but immediately Wynn falls pregnant, and she doesn't know what to do. Obviously, she has to tell Beau, which is our male main character, and she doesn't expect him to be so excited as he is, but he really just jumps on board. He's ready to bring the baby into the world. So yeah. They end up just going about as like friends and co-parenting, but the closer to the time that the baby's born, the closer they get as well. They end up living together and have to do a little fake dating situation because obviously it's a bit of a tricky situation to explain to people that they're having a baby together but they're not together, but they're friends but they're not together, you know? I can understand the frustration, but this book, oh my gosh, it had the perfect amount of everything. So, 5 stars. I cannot wait to read more books by Hannah Bonham Young. Okay, I just changed the camera angle slightly, but then I read one of my new favourite books, The Way It Used to Be. I also read the second one, but I'll get into that in a second. This book, it broke me. It actually, destroyed my heart. I've thought about it every single day since, and that was well over a month ago. This book, it really did something to me. I think because it was YA, it really hit home more because everything that was happening to someone my age, so I feel like I could really connect to her, even though the horrible thing that happened to her hadn't happened to me. It felt like I was the main character, and I feel like that means that it was a perfectly written book. Okay, I just read my review again, and I feel like the way that it was written made you really feel like you were inside of her mind. Pretty much what happens is our main character, Eden, she was sexually assaulted by someone in her life, and you do find out, obviously, but just the way that you could see what it was like inside of a victim's mind and how it affects their life, even in ways that you wouldn't assume. It really broke my heart, but I felt like it was me. I really genuinely felt like all these things had happened to me, even though it hasn't. I really enjoyed the character development between her and her brother, the way that they get closer towards the end. It really just warmed my heart. Okay, this wasn't exactly a 5-star read, only because of these 2 things. Number 1, I hate, especially in YA books, when the girl has a rebellious phase. It really just irks me. I hate it. But lucky for Eden, I can fully understand why, because obviously she's going through this huge trauma. But still, I hate reading about it. It really just, it makes me cringe. And then also the other thing, I really did not enjoy the way that Eden's friends just abandoned her when obviously she was acting out of character. I feel like as a good friend, you should not just abandon them at the first chance. You should see if you can help them first to see, it really just, that part really irked me. But lucky for book 2, you see how it all gets better. Also, I didn't say, there is kind of a love interest in this book, but not really. You don't get to see that till book 2. But when Josh is introduced, he is just the perfect comfort character. I'm so in love with him. Any chance that she's in trouble or needs help, he will literally just swoop in and save the day. And I need a Josh. He stole my heart. I love him. This book was 4.75 stars. Okay, then I read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have things to say. This book was not 5 stars. Okay, so my main criticism... Okay, can I stop dropping my books? My main criticism of this book was that it was so hyped up that every good thing about this book I'd already heard of. So it wasn't like I was gasping oh my gosh, this is so cute. Because I've already seen people talk about it a million times before. So I feel like if I had just picked this up, either when it first started getting its hype or just randomly off the shelf when I didn't know anything about it, that I probably would have loved this book. But for me, it really just fell flat. Also, can we talk about how annoying Liz is? Why did she have to lie about everything? I get that she wanted her dream boy, but you don't have to lie to your best friend for literally everything. Shouldn't she already know? There was this one scene where she lied because she had to go study. Well, lied about studying, but instead she went out shopping to go buy clothes to impress the boy that she wanted. Is that not so weird? It did not add up. Wes, on the other hand, was actually such a sweetie. I'm in love with him. But every cute quote that he said, I'd already heard before because it was so hyped up. So, yes, I did love him. But I don't think about him every day, you know? Like, it wasn't quite enough to win me over because there are many guys like Wes in pretty much every book. So, I hate to say it, he was not special to me. I didn't fully hate this book. It was good. It was just so hyped up. So, I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was okay, but nothing to write home about. Okay, so pretty much as soon as I finished The Way I Used to Be, I went and ordered The Way I Am Now. And the only reason why I read better than the movies was so that I had something to read in between. But this book, oh my gosh, this was 5 stars. I want to give it a hug. Like, it was so beautiful. The way that it all just tied together and like the whole healing process, everything was just written so perfectly. This picks up not immediately when The Way I Used to Be finished, but I would have liked to see that little gap. But just the way that the characters are so much closer and the relationships have just evolved so much. This book, oh my gosh, I wish I could wrap it up in a warm hug. I wish I could wrap Eden up in a hug. I want to protect her from everything. But obviously I won't say what happens in this because it's the second book in a series. But, oh my gosh. I'm in love with this series and I need a third book. Not that it was on like a big cliffhanger, but I need more. 5 stars. Okay, I'm going to start out with Binding 13. This is an enormous book. All these books are humongous. But, oh my gosh, I've never read a book this size so fast. I think I read it in like 3 or 4 days. Same as Keeping 13. I was traveling, so there was a lot of like just sitting in the car or sitting on a plane time. But I don't even know what to say about these books. It's similar to the Addicted Callaway Sisters series and kind of like Magnolia Parks. Not as much like relationship drama, but just the way that it's more of a character study and it's just following the characters, not following the plot. And not that the plot is bad, it's just like not the thing that you're focusing on. And oh my gosh, these characters cannot catch a break. Like, I felt like I was Shannon because we're the same age, we kind of look the same, we're both very small and petite, and I felt for the poor girl, and I feel like I needed Johnny in my life. Just like I said I needed Josh in my life, I also needed Johnny. Like, Johnny is just top tier. I think he might be one of my favourites ever, if not my favourite book boyfriend ever. I also said in my review that I feel like this book is the Who Did This To You trope in a whole book, and you get it for 800 pages. Like, tell me that isn't perfect, because don't lie, we all love the Who Did This To You trope. Johnny was always there to save her, and not in like a controlling, not in a controlling way, like, oh no, don't do anything, I'll do it all for you. No, he was like so supportive, and when she needed help, he was always there. Also, I love a good found family, so I feel like the whole friend group, especially Gibbsy, really just welcomed their way into my heart. I'm so excited for Taming 7. I think it comes out next month, so I need to finish the series before then. Oh my gosh, 5 stars. Okay, and then the way that Binding 13 finishes, you need this book on hand. If you're about to start this series, you need to have at least the first 2 books ready to go, because my jaw was on the floor. As soon as I finished that, I had no thoughts. I went straight to my Kindle and downloaded Keeping 13, because obviously I was away, so I didn't have the book on me. But this book, it practically picks up at the same sentence as when the last one ends. I can't imagine reading these books when they were coming out and having to wait like a whole year for this book to come out. Like, this book, I feel like it broke me even more than the first one. The things that happened, I feel ill thinking about it. Like, the found family just grew so much more, and the way that all the families just unite together and they're all there to help. everyone, they feel like my friends, and I know that's probably really sad to say, and I can't say much about this one because it's the second book, so if I say anything, it's kind of spoiling the first one, if not this one as well. But if you haven't read this series yet, you need to. This was like 7 out of 5 stars. So good. 13 stars. I'm in love. If you've read this book, message me because I need to talk about it. Okay, so that was all the books that I read in January, and I fully slumped after finishing Keeping 13, so I only read 3 books in the month of February, so this should be pretty fast. Okay, so at the end of January, a collection of novellas came out on Kindle Unlimited by all of our favourite rom-com authors. So I picked up the Abby Jimenez one because obviously I loved Yours Truly. This one, not impressed. I did not have a good time. This was so boring and I do not recommend. Pretty much, I feel like this was a personal error. I hadn't realised the definition of meet cute, and pretty much it ended after that. There was a whole awkward situation, and then as soon as I realised that they were kind of soulmates, then it just stopped. It was only 60 pages, so I guess what did I expect? But it was so weird. As soon as they came into contact with each other, they were like, oh, ha, 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 that was you. And then it finished. Why did I, give my time to this book? And I didn't even finish it in one sitting. It was so boring that it took me days to finish. And it was 60 pages. So, I don't think I'll be continuing this novella series because I was bored. 2 stars. Okay, and then it was also my birthday this month, so my lovely friend Lily sent me some books and I got The Love Contract. This book I was so excited for because Amazon kept on recommending it to me and I've never seen anyone talk about it before, but maybe that's for a good reason because this book was so bad. I hate to say that books are bad, but clearly I had a little bad run here. This book, I don't know what happened. I don't even know if they ended up together at the end. It was not very clear at all, but it was so odd. Okay, so this book really frustrated me, and I keep on ranting about it, so I'm going to try to keep this little synopsis short. But pretty much the point is that Zoe is a mum, a single mum, and she really needs childcare because her maternity leave is over, and her grumpy neighbour ends up getting leave, so he decides that it's best for both of them if he takes care of Hazel, the baby. And this book really frustrated me because Hazel and Will's connection is so adorable, and then when you get to the end of the book and she ends up taking a DNA test to see who the dad is, I was convinced that there would be some plot twist and Will would have ended up being the father because he's sworn off women, she's sworn off men, and then that would have just been so perfect if they found out that they were actually a little family together. But that's not what happened. I hate to break it to you. Don't get your hopes up about this book. So Will and Zoe, they end up having a little bit of a relationship because obviously the forced proximity nanny trope, except reversed, that was just, it was all leading the right way. And then at the end, the ex-boyfriend comes back and he's just invited back into their lives. I'm actually I know that I'm fully spoiling this book, but I don't care. Don't read this book. I do not recommend. This, I can't get over how frustrated I was. It took me a long time to read this because I was so bored. But the middle section of this was really good, but the start was boring and the end was just so bad. It went so downhill. 2 stars. Honestly, maybe even 1 star because I have so much bad stuff to say about it and literally nothing good to say. Don't read this. Okay, and then the last book I read in February was another biggie, but very highly anticipated. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Oh my gosh, if you watched the end of my last video, then you would have seen my review on this already. But 5 stars. this was the perfect ending to the Magnolia Park series. Obviously, I won't really say what happened because it's the 5th book in a series. But this was everything I've ever wanted. It's everything I was scared wouldn't happen, because obviously there was a big gap between when the last Magnolia Parks book was released and the next one. So that gave a lot of time for people on the internet to say what was going to happen or be very critical and wish very horrible things to happen to my favourite person, BJ. But this book, oh my gosh, it broke my heart so many times. I can't get over it, but still 5 stars. Like, I guess I just love to have my heart broken. Anyway, if you didn't know, this book picks up pretty much exactly where the last one left off, which was very, very heartbreaking. I cannot get over how painful it was to start this book, because I feel like everyone, including myself, was in denial that the things that happened at the end of the last book were real. Like, I was convinced that none of it was true and that it was all just, I don't know, a hallucination. But unfortunately for me, it was all right. And very, very painful. Okay, I don't remember if I said, but 5 stars. This whole series, 5-star series. Absolutely. If you haven't read this series yet, you need to start. Okay, I don't know how long I've been talking for, but thank you for watching. That's the end. That's how many books I read in 2 months, which is kind of ridiculous, but obviously February really went on a downhill. But anyway, my room is a mess now because books are just everywhere, so I need to clean that up. So thank you for watching. If you aren't already, follow my Bookstagram, because that's where you'll see my wrap-ups and my reviews first. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, because I'm about to film a bookshelf tour.